Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Day and Night. Today with me, I have my new co-host, Akane, and our two guests.
Woo! Cool. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I'm Akane or Akane, whichever one you prefer to call me. And then, obviously, you know Nazarick, and then the other two, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm APM from AkaneFT's Discord.
And I'm Sin.
I'm basically only complaining all the time.
And then I'm Sin, probably the last dying whale in the game for global.
He's keeping us alive.
He's a third of the reason the game hasn't died yet. Okay, so we're going to begin the podcast as usual with global content, and we're going to talk about what's currently going on, which is Chaos Field Floor 13.
Cool. So I'll start things off. Personally, content at the moment in global, I feel like it's pretty dry. Like, I think it's pretty cool that we've got Chaos Field and finally like a new one, not just Chaos Field 12 again. Like, we finally got another Chaos Field, which brings out a bit more value in a few more units in the game at the minute. So a lot of the power units will get a bit more value now, and a bit more use because, well, Chaos Field 13 is speed. So, but overall, so far, like, it's just Chaos Field. It's the same thing again. We haven't got really anything else at the moment, which is a bit dry, but we've got something, I guess. Chaos Field's a good challenge.
I mean, at least we have some new content compared to how we've previously been with, almost a month of dry content. I mean, some content's better than nothing, but it is repetitive with Chaos Field.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have, when speaking about content, are you both, I guess, through with Overlord and Berserk and Supreme Halloween farming for tokens? Because that is still ongoing right now. Berserk ends today, Halloween still runs the next 2 weeks.
I've finished the Halloween and Berserk event. Well, I'm not clearing the shop, but I've cleared the 2.5 million.
Same here, and considering how I believe today's the last day for Berserk, most people, if not all, should have Berserk done.
Yeah.
And Halloween is the only thing that people can or would be playing, if that.
And even then, that's this has been a pain in the butt. This event, sometimes you won't be able to complete the extreme mission because of depending on your RNG with that paralysis. That's great. Love.
So if you're both through with those events, you're in the same position as me. That basically, okay, I guess I can do books and scrolls and X and Abyss.
Yeah.
Okay. I was also going to wonder for the Halloween event, there's a raid attached to that, right? The raid's going on during the entire Halloween event as well?
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
The raid actually changed.
Oh. I was going to say, how is everyone doing on the raid?
I mean, currently for the current raid, I've more or less cleared out the shop for everything that I've been going for. Of course, I've noticed today, as of today, not as many people were competing for top 100. The scoreboard was lower compared to other days, whereas other people were more competitive.
Yeah. So
I also got 2 top 100s, even though it was on auto and on just 6 AP. But the third very, very key change they did yesterday, I think, or the day before that, is they doubled the rewards for top 100 and top 30. Or not doubled, I think it's tripled for top 100.
yeah.
Because before they nerfed it from 1k the shards to 500 at the beginning of the Halloween event, the first weeks until then, and now top 100 gives you 1.5k shards.
Yeah.
So you are much better off by competing now than earlier with less money investment and on top of it, all the whales and the players who get 4 event slots or 4 raid slots are finished already. So if you haven't done all the shop relics yet, then now is the perfect time to do some AP potions for raids.
Yeah, I think I finished the event like straight away. Like, I got what I wanted from the event after, like, I think the boss was like level 4, like the first 3 kills that we got. I literally went all out on the second round, and I think I came like 5th or 4th or something. And then the round after that, I came top 100. And then all I got was a 7-colored crystal and one of the relics. Like, the relic's not, for me, worth it getting maxed limit break, personally. Like, for me at least.
Even though the passive scales with the level.
I just don't use it at all. Like, I'll never use it. I just got it for collection purposes. And then the achievement icon, yeah, it looks cool, but 10,000, yeah, I can't be bothered with that. The 7-colored crystal is like a must for me, and then just getting the relic for the collection purpose, I'll take it. And now I just kind of use my 6 AP when I have it, and then after that I just buy it in the shop whatever I need. I don't really care. But yeah,
The tickets are also quite nice. 10 bronze and 1 silver.
Oh, for the raid, I mean, using 6 AP at once is saves you time, but it is more cost efficient to use 1 AP for more damage, since I believe if I did the math or somebody else did it, using 6 AP is equivalent to using 5 single AP runs, something like that. I mean, you get gypped off
around
1.
5 or 5.2 damage multiplier instead of 6. So of course you lose some, but I can't be bothered to spend 1 AP each time.
yeah.
I mean, it is person to person, depending on how much time you want to invest into the game at this point.
But yeah, like, the reason why, like, it's probably better using the 1 AP at a time. Like, I agree with it. For me, like, I don't enjoy raids. Like, I don't get a thrill out of it. So I just use 6 AP so I can just move on and play the other stuff in the game. But like, the reason why 1 AP is probably better is because you have 6 runs individually, which means you have 6 critical chances in each run, if that makes sense. So like a good run,
Get better average damage, or at least your average damage is consistent.
like, you have 6 different runs where you can have, like, let's say for example you have 5 out of the 6 runs where you have really good runs because you get like consistent critical hits. If you use 6 AP, if you have 1 good run with crits, it's not going to outdo 5 good runs with crits. So that's basically it. That's the reason why I think it's more cost efficient. Like, I don't know, it just seems a bit better, I know that, but for time consuming, for me, 6 AP is the way to go for me.
I mean, considering how you've already cleared the shop for what you want, using 1 AP is only for those who want to buy more things, or even clear out shop for that instance.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when talking about the shop, raid shops are always the best shops we can get in the game. Like, if you look at them right now, you have not only the relic, even if you don't want a relic, you have the 1 silver ticket, the 10 bronze, and the normal mats, like 140 big foods, the 3-star booster foods, and 100 scrolls, 100 character X, 100 books.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Really, and 5 and 1 of each tier 5 and tier 4 items. It's really nice.
Yeah,
it's basically like combining multiple abyss shops into one jumbo shop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And everything besides the title, the relic, and the 7-color crystal is cheap. So
Yeah.
I actually like rates like this a lot with the payout.
Okay. Yeah, I think that gonna cover what's currently going on in global. I heard there was recently some controversy over the reward system in Chaos Flow 13. If you guys wanna on that.
Don't be silly. Yeah. Well, to kick things off, personally, like, I get why they've done it.
Can we first summarize what exactly was done?
So, well, I mean, for most people, would realize that with Chaos Field, you don't get 10 Chaos Stones each run anymore. I think you get like 30 or something like that per 10.
Yeah, 40 per stage.
40 per stage.
In total.
So 40, 400, 480, 520. It should be the maths on that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it isn't actually that bad, because, like, I think someone was saying that we get 2 Chaos Fields like a month, but I feel like personally, even if we did get 2 Chaos Fields a month, your payout for Chaos Stones is less than just having one where you get 10 each time. Because 520, 520, 1040. Whereas if you just have 10 each time, you get 1300. So there's 300 Chaos Stones you lost. And not only that, but the fact that they've split it so that you not only get less, but let's say you even got the same amount. Let's say you still got 1300 over the course of 2 Chaos Fields. That's more time you've got to spend in the game. Like, I would rather just have 1 Chaos Field a month, complete it, get 1300, than do 2 a month and get
not necessarily.
the
If
same
we have
amount.
2 Chaos Fields a month, we get 2 times that. The reward at the end of the mission is not the only reward you get. You get a clearing reward for each mission.
Yeah.
And those can be enormous, like 10 large eggs on the later stages, or 10 big foods, or 1 tier 5 item.
Yeah,
You
they
would
can
get those
be
Overlord
good.
medals.
Yeah, it can be good. But for me personally, like I would rather just the one with the 300 extra stones. I'd rather get an extra 300 stones and more time for myself than 2 runs and, you know, maybe like maybe like, I don't know, 80 large dragon stones and the clearance rewards 1 more time extra.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in real quick. And
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in JP, in Chaos Flow, we stopped getting 10 Chaos Stone per floor like a long time ago. Because what happens in all Chaos fields at this point is we get the Chaos medals instead of just stones all the time. Just like when we rerun like events, like when we rerun events, just like Halloween and stuff, or like previous smaller events like Manga vs the Flow Guardians. We get like shop medals instead of like 10 per, but like we still get like a few Chaos Stones, but like we don't really cap out as much. So I feel like Global taking that change is kind of more a bit in line with JP, except that instead of just Chaos medals, you seem to be getting, I hear, tier 5 mats, which I feel is pretty nice compared to just getting like a blank amount of medals.
Mm.
Well, one thing for the current Chaos Field that I noticed was that they actually fixed or changed back the stamina cost, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's very good.
Since before it was, 28 for the later stages, now it's back down to 10.
Oh, thank God. that was a killer.
From my second account.
280 just to clear 1 stage. Oh.
I mean, considering back then you would get 100 stones for that, so for 280 stamina for 100 stones. I mean, on one end you spend more stamina, but then you get the stones. But now it's back down.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I feel like
let's hope. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say I feel like also part of like the reason why, you know, a lot of people going back to the raid are not really in the raid at the moment is, one, because, you know, most people probably bought out the shop, like the top 100 that were consistently there, if that makes sense. And 2 is because in the Discord, just going off of glances, a lot of people have like started playing JP because of this change that they've done to Chaos Field. Like I myself included. I haven't even touched Chaos Field yet.
Really?
No, haven't touched it. I've been farming books today, and yesterday I was farming, what was it? I forgot what I was farming yesterday. Limit break items.
I mean, considering how it's the weekend, most people would focus on things that are limited, such as books, since the Chaos Field is still active for another 5 days.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of time.
Yeah, we get this book day. No, nothing else can change that.
Yeah.
But okay, to summarize, what do you think about the Baskel? You know this already from the Japan version, but what do you think about the relic that is now in the Chaos shop? Like, do we get with each Chaos field the same relic again and again, or do the relics change?
Oh, so for the relics, you get this relic added to the Chaos field store, and then it'll be there each time, and then every once in a while they'll add in another one and another one. So right now I think we have 3 of them in the Chaos field metal exchange in JP.
And this the one we have here, the Mars Shelter one, and another one, right? Like the fire boosting.
Yeah, like
Okay, good. Then let's let's hope they keep that up with the global version and bring the other relics over.
I mean,
Well,
if they continue on at least on not giving 100 stones, that we at least get the other benefits that JP enjoys.
Well, the thing right now that I'm wondering about is being how they're coming in with the relic. Is if when they come in with other relics, will this one relic be the same? Did you buy 5 copies per shop, or will you only be able to buy one later on? That's one of the things that I'm wondering about for later players, or if they don't buy the relic this time, and then all of a sudden they need this relic for some event or content. Will they be able to buy multiple copies, or will it be limited to one? So, I mean, right now, given how the other items from the shop are the maids for the expensive part, you could buy the relic just for future proofing.
I was gonna say in JP, there was 5 copies of the relics of each one still, and it's pretty much you were always gated by how many medals the event gave, so it should be fine. It's just that at that point, if you come in a bit later in global, like they'll be like, oh, there's 3 different relics here, and I only have like enough to get like 5 copies of like one, right? And then you'll kind of have that struggle. But they don't release new relics that often, so as long as you play the game, you should be able to maximum break all of them.
One thing I would say about the
new relic.
Oh, go on. You go first.
Let's hope then that when a new relic comes out, it's not the Chaos Field where Entomar is 5 times in the shop, because then I can't buy it. Otherwise,
I was gonna say, like, with one thing that I do think is quite good, what they've done in Chaos Field. Correct me if I'm wrong here, because I only took a quick glance over the rewards from Chaos Field, but I'm pretty sure it's like chapter 5.5 or 5.10, something like that. You get the relic from the mission. Am I correct on that?
You get 1 copy of the relic by doing Chaos Field as a reward.
5.5, right?
All copies for 1k charts like the mates.
But it's somewhere in like chapter 5, right? So
somewhere around the halfway point, or even earlier.
So like I feel like it's quite good that they've done that, because first of all, like pretty much any player can get this relic. So like if you're starting the game, you can, granted it's not the best 5-star relic, but it's better than, you know, most I say most, better than all the 3-star relics, and, you know, quite a few 4 stars.
Also better than some 5-star.
It's still a good relic. It's like players can start the game and you can get past like chapter 5 or story 5, whatever you want to call it, pretty easily, even just starting off the game. So, you know, getting a free 5-star relic early in the game for new players is really good. And it's also good because, you know, every player can kind of get this, even if you're not new, like as a collectible item. Whether you're going to use it or not, that's up to you, but new players can get something good pretty easily.
Also, like you said, my last Chaos Field, my second account was fairly new, and I still got to like 9 or Chaos Fields. 10-5 or something, with only level 60 tops units.
Yeah.
So
not bad.
That's nice. I guess that concludes the CF discussion. One last thing I want to mention is that the new speed level, I haven't been there myself yet, because manualing the CF levels on the higher ones that you can't auto is always a drag. But over there, it's interesting what Mix find out from the data, that all of them are weak to Earth on speed, even though you would normally assume speed is resistant to Earth.
Yeah.
Which makes the power attackers we have right now, like Halloween Mara and Stonecutter Sabers, still good in that environment, even though Earth is not that well associated with green.
Yeah. Only. They're going to be pretty key.
That's nice. Okay. So now that we're done talking about kind of what's going on in global, let's just kind of have a look at the new unit, Nazarick Solution, and what your general opinions on that now out in global.
I mean, I uploaded a video on her on my channel, I think yesterday or the day before, like just reviewing the unit, and I feel like there's nothing bad about her, but there's nothing good about her, if that makes sense. The only thing that's like not extraordinary, but the only thing that like stands out about her is the fact that she's like the strongest poison type unit we have at the minute. And it doesn't sound crucial, but like Zog, when we were talking about the units, made up a key point. Like in things like raids, when you need or a poison unit, or even like a chaos field, if there is any enemies that are specific to a poison unit, if you have solution, she can kind of get the job done. Granted, it's not the most efficient, but being the only one that does what she does with that element, besides Neuronist, like, yeah.
Or the swimsuit solution.
Yeah, swimsuit solution as well, but like you really use her for that because she's mainly taunting and defending, so it's a bit hard for her to get an opportunity to use that skill. But like for people like her and Neuronist, you know, they get an opportunity a lot more sooner to do that poison damage. So I think it's pretty good. But
another thing,
I wouldn't pull for her personally.
Yeah, it's not exactly with the things on the horizon. Another point of that could be good. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, that could be good. Besides the 5 MP is the overdrive if you have multiple copies, because the minus death and the minus speed. No, not the minus speed exactly, but the minus death could come in handy when fighting bosses. You have 13, 10, or 12, 10, or 10, 11, 10.
Yeah.
And as I was going to say, as Akane said, with the poison for a raid, for example, with the current raid for the pumpkin boss, I believe he is weak to poison, if I recall correct.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The pumpkin boss would be one of the only few units at the current moment that she would be effective in, especially as a replacement to Naz and Toma, just because of the debuff and defense for the 4 MP skill. So she could be a substitute for that if you don't have it, if you do happen to pull her instead. But other than that, she really doesn't shine that bright except just in special occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solution. Poor solution. Swimsuit solution's good. Halloween solution's good. Nazarick solution, I don't know any other solutions that are out yet, but yeah, those two are dominating at the minute.
I mean, solution is best known as a tank, not that much as
enhancer.
Enhancer, yeah.
The best looking solution of Soy is forgotten. Out of 5 stars, sadly. Okay, that's sad.
Okay, cool. And then besides that, I guess we can look at what's coming up for global. And I think it's the Gehenna project.
So, Gehenna project on the 3rd, and followed on the same day, I think, or around the time we also get another summon with Samurai Demi right there. Should also be around that date.
Samurai Demi is later on. It's after the Gehenna plan.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the Gehenna plan runs for like quite a while. So
Sword Field Summon is on the 9th. Okay, so a bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, only Gehenna.
What about I guess the big thing that you notice from that is that we have Masked Shoutier and Jabadov as the banner pickup units, and then big change from JP is it was originally a ranking event to get Masked Shoutier. So now that she's in the pool, I expect there might be buffs to her stats, and maybe they'll tweak her skills to make her a bit more usable. But I'll let you guys kind of talk about what you think these units are going to impact Globo.
I would really wonder if she's limited or not, or she's general pool like Jade about.
I think she is general pool, to be honest. If they're in the same banner, they should be in general pool both together. It would make sense. I don't know why they would put them in the same banner and then just say, no, this one's limited edition, this one is general.
Exactly, but on the banners afterwards, she doesn't show up on the units you can pull. So, strange.
Well, I believe she is a limited character and won't appear in other banners. because if I took a peek at this is just still speculation. I took a peek at other banners and she wasn't there. So I mean, considering how she was a event character in Japan, I mean, it
Makes
does make
sense.
sense
Yeah.
keeping her as a limited unit, but taking her out of raids to be into a banner as well is just feels like a means to get more players to summon for her.
Yeah, I feel like with that, like I feel like taking her out of raids first of all. Well, first of all, we don't even get raids anymore. Like it feels like
Well, it was a ranking event. Raids
yeah.
didn't
Oh
exist
yeah,
when
ranking event,
Ranking
ranking event.
event
just
Sorry,
came out.
I was thinking wrong thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't get like really ranking events anymore. Mainly because of the uproars that we had in the past. Like they just tried to fix it and they couldn't. And then like I feel like it's also a kick in the teeth as well because the banner that she's put in is with a pretty top tier debuffer in my opinion, and I think Dizek could agree with me on here. So people won't be summoning on that banner for her in particular because, to be completely honest, if you're summoning for her, it's mainly because you like the character, which is great. But overall, she's not really an amazing character at all. Like she's very expensive, doesn't really do an amazing job of healing. She's just kind of like really mediocre. So the fact that people are going to probably be summoning on this banner for the debuffer, which is Jabadov, and then they end up getting Marsh out here just to kind of cock block is really bad in my opinion. Like, I feel like they should have put them in separate banners because now the one that most people are going to be summoning for are going to be really upset and kind of annoyed when they get something that they didn't. So basically, like, he's going to have a lower chance to be received because now you're either going to get him or her, basically, rather than, like, almost guaranteed him.
On the other hand, you have a unit that is available always and that you can get with tickets versus a limited unit. So for collectors, it's actually nice. Would be more nice if they got Master Child here instead of About, because Whale will get About later or earlier.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not bad for like
considering-
WoWs, but like if you're like new, free to play, or you know, just in general, like you're trying to save your stones for key units, which most people do. I don't feel like there's many collectors in this unless you're like spending money on the game because the game doesn't give you enough stones anymore to collect all the units anymore. Like you barely get any, especially with what they've done with Chaos Field. So yeah, it's good for like, you know, Sin and like other people like Sin, which is a few minority at the minute. But yeah, I feel like it is a bit of a kick in the teeth.
And then the one thing about having her split for the 50-50 chance is just a reminder of the Bloody Valkyrie step up summon that we had back in August with with the Perfect Warrior Eind and the OG Shaltir. So it's another 50-50 chance with one being a good unit versus the other one not as good as the other.
Yeah, it's not really good. Like for me, I done the 10 steps on the Halloween summon. Like I came out of my free to play ways because I'm so free to play to do my like last 2 steps, and I was like, you know, there's a 3 in 5 chance I'll get a character I want, which was Halloween Demi, Halloween Aura, or Solution. And then I got the one that I wanted the least, which was Mare. So all them 10 steps for me personally felt like a waste because I got a unit that I didn't want out of 3 out of 5. Now imagine if you get to 10 steps, if it is a step up banner, I'm not sure on that, and then you get out of 50-50, you get the one that you don't want. It's just not nice a feeling at all.
Well, it is a step up. There's going to be 2 banners for the Gehenna plan, so it is a step up. So you do have a 50-50 chance of getting one or the other.
Yeah, it's not nice.
So yeah, it's not as player friendly as people would like.
Unless they make the step up cheaper, then that would kind of balance out a little bit, especially since they're not really Shelter is limited, possibly limited. We're still kind of unsure on that, but Jabadov, is not really. He's in the standard banner, so you can still get him, but might be difficult.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about global before we move on to JP?
save
we
us.
won't talk about the units themselves, right?
No, not necessarily. You can just talk about anything else before we
Okay,
move on.
I just feel that the Zelda bout is kinda a bit overhyped with we got Nazarick Gazef before him, and she fills the same role, except she also does other things. Just to mention that it's not as crucial as JP when they first got him.
Yeah.
I think they got him really early, right? They got him like 3-4
Yeah.
months.
Yeah, we had him for quite a bit, way quite a bit compared to when Nazarick and Toma came out.
Yeah.
I think was this January or earlier.
Yeah, no, I think there was at least like 5 month gap, 6 months gap, because it was like past. She was, I think, one of the first Nazarick Fest units to come out, maybe. So it was her, and I think it was Nabe came out together, and then they came out a month after Nazarick Ainz came out. So he came out in March, so like I think they were about April.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all from me on global.
Yeah, also.
Yep, same here.
Okay, cool. Then we're gonna move on to JP, and then right now we had just wrapped up the Halloween event on JP, so we're on that 1-day transition where in about 10 hours of when we're recording this podcast, we don't have content until it rolls over, and then we get Shield Hero collab. So it is the Tate no Yusha Season 2 collaboration. We are getting 6 brand new units, and we're getting 6 relics as well to go with it. I think it's 7 if you count the 5-star one. So a lot to talk about, but before we do, let's just kind of talk about the state of the game in JP at the moment. Right now, I kind of want to get Akane's opinion on how JP looks, just because he is a brand new player, and they have implemented a lot of really cool stuff for new players.
Yeah. So, just starting, like, obviously, I'm still playing global, but like I swapped from global to JP, like playing both, but I can already tell, like, from the way that I've started JP is very, very free to play friendly. So immediately when you start the game, you have a reroll system where you can get any of the floor guardians and OG Ainz, and you just keep re-summoning like non-stop. There's not a limit. You just keep doing it until you get one that you want, which is most likely Ainz. You can still get 5-star relics in this. I don't think you can get 2 5-star units at the same time, because I don't think I got that once. But I did get guild staff in there on one of my rerolls with another 5-star unit. I even got like 3 5-star relics and a 5-star unit in one of them, but I ended up just settling with Ainz. Then after you finish the tutorial summon and all of that, you get like your daily login, and on your first day you get a 5-star guaranteed summon ticket, like unit, not relic. You get a 5-star unit one, and in that same login you get on day 2 30 small blue potions, and on day 5 you get the symbol of the guild staff, which is like still one of the best relics in the game to this day. And then on your 10th day login you get another 5-star guaranteed unit ticket. So in 10 days you can get 3 guaranteed 5-star units and one of the best relics in the game, 1 from rerolling, 2 from tickets, and then the relic. And then just to make things even better, you start the game, you get a free multi at the moment. This is only at the moment, I think for like the next 10 days or something like that. So yeah, you get a free multi summon, which is great. And then when you also start the game, yes, JP start with lowest stamina cost, but you start the first 3 days of the game at half stamina cost in, I believe, I don't know if it's just for story because I haven't checked events, but on story mode you get half stamina. So what usually costs like 5 stamina costs only 2. So if you're grinding out for the first 3 days, you can probably grind quite a few levels because everything's half stamina, which is great, like really good. So overall, personally, like starting off the game, I feel like it's really good, like really good, for the first 10 days at least. I mean, this isn't really something I've got to yet because I haven't got that far in the story yet, and I haven't really leveled up my units, but I'm sure most of you know as well, in events you can get Pandora's Acta from the shop, who is also like a top tier unit now as well because of the amazing buff that he got recently. So you can start the game with Irons, and if you grind hard enough, you can get Pandora from the shop, and you already have 2 top tier units like when you start the game, plus 2 other 5 stars, assuming you don't get duped. Like
you almost tempt me to create another. Also,
it's actually crazy. Like the only thing for most people I can understand is obviously time zone difference for events and stuff. And also the fact that obviously everything's not in English. Like a lot of people prefer to just have the game that they can read everything. Like I get that. And the rates are lower for summoning units. Like there are pluses and negatives on both sides of things, but I feel like JP is being taken care of a lot better than Global right now. So that's why I'm playing both, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know how long like Global will last at this rate. Like the things that they're doing are just not making the player base happy. But JP
said
is,
that also back in
Yeah.
August.
But I'm not going to throw it away.
Game is life,
So yeah. So anyone who wants to start JP, now would be a really good time. And I'm not even saying that like I wasn't told to say this by Die or anything, but like from me starting, I would strongly recommend starting now, because I don't know if this 10 free multis, although it's minor compared to everything else that I just said, a multi a day is really good. I got Momon today and I got 0 yesterday, so it's crazy.
Man, you're very lucky.
Yeah.
All I got was box of treasures, and that's all I got. Everything else is just like
stop flexing on us.
Oh yeah, 5-star relic
all the
compared to
luck.
2 5-star units.
But yeah,
Okay,
that's my opinion on the game from the start. Very positive.
Okay. Besides that, the recent trend in JP has been buffing older units. So I'd say the units that got buffed recently, some of them kind of could use the buff to make them like step up to what current units are, like Nazarick Demiurge. And then we also got buffs for some units that were already kind of strong, like Nazarick Clementine. Besides that, what do you guys think of unit buffs overall?
Of these unit buffs, or
No, just in general. In general.
I feel like they are a really good idea. I can't wait until they come to global, because you have like I have so many units I would like to use, and I love the design of like, okay, please give me a chance to use Demiurge Frog form, because he simply looks so good and his abilities look good, but he is not strong enough to compete on a level. So buffs to those units, I really appreciate them.
Yeah.
I mean, considering how a lot of newer units are increasing at power creep and from other units, buffing older units to compete with the newer units has more benefit to newer players who miss out on past events, for example, with some units being exclusive to that event and unobtainable as of that point. So buffing older units to catch up with newer units is a good idea in that aspect.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really good with buffing units. Personally, like you get to see things like you never would have thought how much of a big change Pandora got, but like 100 and something speed. He's like pretty much the fastest unit in the game with Irons. No, he is the fastest unit in the game because of his passive, and Irons doesn't. Well, yeah, they're not out yet, so but when they are out, obviously. But at the moment, an OG unit is the fastest unit in the game, and that doesn't sound like much, but for the role that Pandora fills, is huge. Like it's massive. Not to mention all of his other stat buffs. I do love the fact that they've buffed like loads of units. I think it's really cool. Like you get to see more diverse units in co-ops and stuff. Not that I've played co-op on JP yet, but you'll probably see more of these units, which is cool, rather than just seeing Irons, and Entimas and all of that. But I think I was saying it to you like a couple days ago, Nazarick. Like I feel like there's more to it than they're just buffing units. I feel like they've got something big planned coming in the future. I said PvP because like in games like that, when you're buffing units, like something like that could happen. or like maybe not even PvP, because I don't know how it would work in this game, but like some sort of content in the game where you kind of need more units than just 4. I don't know. Like it's just dreams, but the fact they're buffing units, it could be
they
something
have
like
these
that.
missions to send them on, right? So you need lots of good units for these AFK missions. The 24-hour ones.
I was gonna say those ones aren't really capped out into needing good unit ones, but like if there was a future content, like I don't know, this is an example from another mobile game I used to play. It was Fire Emblem Heroes, where they had a mode where normally you only needed 4 units to clear like all missions, but they started releasing like larger game modes where you could queue up 25 units to run a mission, or like 8 units to run a mission. So like if there was content where you need to queue up multiple different parties, then like this would be like really good for units that have different copies of themselves. Like if you have like 6 different Einses, right? So then you could run like an Eins in each of your like subsequent party and open up like a lot of uses for units that wouldn't really be used before. So I think I'll look forward to if there's content where you need multiple teams.
Yeah.
Well, then there's also the possibility of maybe some new content that could be limited to a single copy of a single unit. Say you can only have one of Momonga, for example, so then you can use something else, like having it so that it actually would be like a online party system where you actually have to have a different character from somebody else. So it's possible for that even.
Yeah.
Well, but now can we go back to the topic of the state of the game or of the Shield collab? Move on.
Yeah, I just want to throw out this about when we were talking about unit updates. This is the 3rd one in a row that we've gotten, and the units that were updated were Lakis, Perfect Warrior, Mamonga, Nazarick Sebas, Nazarick Clementine, Nazarick Demiurge, and then it was also Beautiful White Bones, Mamonga. Those were the units that got updated this time. And then sexy bone Mamonga. Okay, so now we're just gonna go back to the Shield Hero collab, and then we have 6 new units. So it's Naofumi, Raphtalia, Firo, Glass, Lark, and Tetris. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who we start with? I guess Naofumi.
Yeah, Naofumi is a good place to start.
I don't even want to start talking about this guy. I'm not even gonna bother. Like, this guy's just too much. He's way too much. Love it.
So, I'll just give you a brief rundown on Naofumi. He doesn't really need to be talked too much about because he is a statistical beast. 8,300 HP, 6,600 defense. None of his other stats matter because he's a tank. And then he has a new passive that is not provoke, it is cover, which gives him, when he's above an HP threshold, the ability to take the attack that is directed towards an ally, which is a bit different than how provoke works, which gives the enemy a chance to attack him instead. Besides that, all his skills give him really high damage reduction with 80% damage reduction for 4 stacks and 100% defense, among other things in the kit.
Yeah.
To put it into perspective, the highest defense buff we had before was 50% on an attacker with Shizu, or 25% on anyone else.
Yeah.
100% doubling a massive amount of defense with an addition of magic and physical immunity to you and one ally.
Yeah, it's like 1,300 defense pretty much. There's pretty much going to be like almost nothing that will like be able to like scratch you at that point.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
I mean, Dai was saying to me, like, it all kind of it depends on how that cover works. If that cover is basically like a taunt, permanent taunt, like at max level, then first of all, he's broken, like as hell. But even if it isn't 100% taunt, I was saying to him, like, you could use him in a team comp with a double tank and you wouldn't even need a healer. You could use him with Santa Sebas or Clem, not Clem, sorry, was it? Halloween Solution or any other tank that has a healing skill, because he can make a tank like not really need a healer, because he can make them so tanky with that one skill, like 100% defense. That's huge. Like he will have
against everything.
Exactly, like he will have 13,000 defense assuming that's no relics. 13,000 defense, immune to physical,
Even
immune.
if it's not 100% taunt, it's still a better taunt because he only blocks when he has high HP.
Yeah.
There are so often situations, even on global, where my Nazarick Albedo is at like 1k HP because she tanked 4 hits, and I would really like for the enemies to skip 1 or 2 attacks and shift them on other units. But they all attack her because she taunted.
Like
with Naofumi,
he's the
that won't
first
happen.
tank, I would say. Like, I know it's a good relic for tanks, but I've always said, like, Eye of Sadist is the best tank relic, regardless of what tank it is. But, like, I genuinely think Momonga Doll for him is amazing. Or any sort of regen relic.
No.
Because if you have regen on him, you can keep him above that 30% threshold. And
there was a relic released in that time that you
we
were
had
away.
Saint.
Yeah.
Saint was the relic that was released. It gave around 3,000 HP, it gave some speed, and it gave HP regen 10% over time.
Yeah, that relic
It's
on him is broken. So broken.
And one thing that I did wonder is how this cover system will work, considering how there's relics that give evasion, for example. Will this combine with the evasion, where you could cover somebody and have a chance to evade the damage, for example? It does bring questions about how it will work.
Yeah.
We will have to see in testing.
Overall, he's a really good unit. Like I said, me and Fish have said, like, he's in the same tier as Nazarick Irons, depending on that passive. Like, you gotta think Nazarick Irons is in that tier because he is just the best at everything he does. Like, for a tank and healer to get up there, they have to be so good to the point you can't really improve it. Like, how else can you get a tank better than this? Like, I genuinely can't think of anything else besides making them completely broken. It all depends on that cover.
On top of that.
What's that?
Maybe a regen passive on top of that.
Oh yeah, if it had a regen passive, like he's like, there's no way you can beat him. There's literally no way, unless you give him like insane HP and insane defense, which he already has, or increase his speed.
Normally the passive taunt is a bad ability on stuff like Center Sabers because you're missing out on one good passive. But his other passive from cover is literally 2 passives but upgraded. 2 tank passives but upgraded.
It's like, his passive is like he has 4 skills. If that's like a taunt, it's like he's got a taunt that's permanently active and you don't have to use MP for it.
He doesn't even use for that.
So yeah,
other passive is cool.
For me personally, like I'm if I was to put him on a tier, I'd put him on the same tier as Irons. And if the cover really isn't as good as it seems, then the tier below Irons. But that's it. Like,
no, he should definitely play better because you're still in the end. Have you seen the overdrive?
Yeah, like his whole kit is good.
% of max HP of any enemy. If you have like your super undeads or something with 200k or even more HP, it's gone.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll see what happens, how things pan out. Guarantee you, after the first day, there will be a lot of testing done because I feel like he's the first step up we're getting. And if I know some of the JP players that I know, one of us will have him maxed out, and then we're gonna run him through the gauntlet, see just how good he is. And then besides that, we'll move on to the next one because we don't want to take forever checking out these new units. So it'll be Raphtalia. Raphtalia is a technique enhancer. Her skills are so. The only noticeable thing, notable, is that she has a -4 hit to all enemies for 4 MP. So this is bringing up the whole evasion kind of discussion again, I guess. How much do you value dodging?
I hate it.
I mean, like, I'm kind of 50-50, right? Like, I think dodge is good, like, but I don't think it's the worst, but I don't think it's the best, right? Like, it is really come down to your playstyle. But for me personally, like, I feel like personally, like, I would still place her quite high on the list because you got to think, if for people running dodge comps, she's arguably the best debuffer on your team if you're running dodge comps.
Yeah,
I mean,
because of that 4
for global on my end, I mean, I was using Swim Solution, for example, and I mean, dodge is nice, but she was only doing 1 stack of debuff, while Raphtalia is doing what, 4 stacks right here?
Yeah, 4 stack.
I mean,
so, like, it's the difference between 20 50% chance to miss and 39% chance to miss. So
Yeah.
it's almost another double the efficiency.
So you could run Solution and her, and then you've got 5 stacks of hit down on turn 1. Which is
five stacks is worse than 4 stacks by far. Like, do you have an increase of 4%?
You have
Go from
43%, yeah. But yeah,
That's
like if you're running like I have Sadist like you normally should on tanks and healers, they've got an increased chance. If you're running someone like Zeshi or Shizu on your team, more dodge on passive right there. Like for me, for people running dodge comps, I feel like she's a must, right? Like she's insane for people that really just play dodge comp meta. For people that don't really use dodge units and stuff like that, she's an easy skip. Like she's only gonna help you for dodge comps. That's it. Other than that, she's got nothing outstanding. She's just got amazing dodge comp supportness, if that's a word.
And then, like you were saying about combining her with Swim Solution, I mean, turn 2, you could basically get to a 10 stack, which I believe is the cap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So then that's what that's already a
58.
chance.
Yeah.
So you're more that's going to be evading 50% of the time on average, give or take.
Yeah, that's not including relics.
And you already do that with RAM. You use RAM. Okay.
Ram with the minus hit.
The wind one, the red hat one. Her overdrive already puts enemies at minus 10 hit.
Yeah, but that's like you have to use it like only. That's overdrives are only really used in Chaos Field, like last wave. So you only get to use that really once. You can use this combo like at the start of every wave if you're charging up before you finish the wave, if that makes sense. So it's not like very fast finishes, but it'll be like high HP finishes, assuming that RNG's on your side.
End, what are you replacing Raphtalia for?
Whoever your debuffer is.
Unit do you cut to put in Raphtalia to get minus hit? You can't replace your DPS because this unit doesn't do any damage. You don't want to replace your buffer or debuffer, ideally.
Well,
that's the spot where she'd have to go.
Yeah, that's the place where she would have to replace because, in a sense, you either go for the debuff for stats to reduce attack, defense, speed, whatever. But then in this instance, you would be reducing the attack hit chance. So there's 2 different ways to go for that. So you could go the debuff route or the evasion route.
Yeah. I think that's all about her, to be fair. She's got good speed as well, which is really good. Which, is quite minor, but for a debuffer, that's quite good. Which is her main role. But yeah, I feel like that's... Unless anyone else has got anything else to say about her, I feel like that's pretty much it.
Right, we're going to kind of speed past the next couple, just because I kind of want to keep this underneath an hour. But,
but the others are broken in Raphtalia. So.
Yeah, the other one's a bit nicer. I'm just going to give a quick overview of the next 4 units, and then just a quick information about what you guys think about it. Just 1 or 2 comments, and then...
Can we do Hero and Class separate and the other ones together, because these 2 are really noteworthy, while the other...
Well, I'll just clean through them, just because we're definitely on a time crunch at this point.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll leave Glass for last. But pretty much, Firo is a well-statted attacker. She has really good speed on par with Pandora's Actor. She has a single target 3 MP elemental wind skill. She also has a 5 MP elemental wind AoE. She's very similar to Samurai Demiurge, except that she is of speed and wind typing instead of power and fire. And then I'm just gonna go over Lark. He is also a single target AoE attacker. He is a power unit, except that he has a wind AoE for 5 MP and a single target attack with no element. And then there's Tiris, who is a heart attacker. She is also in the same boat of having a 3 MP single target skill that has no element but has 50% paralysis and a 5 MP AoE, which is of flame element on a heart unit. So these are kind of the 3 MP single target 5 MP AoE units we have. Firo seems to be the winner because she has the best typings, and I'd say maybe the overall best stat distribution among them. And then I'll just maybe get your quick comments on these three, and then we could talk about Glass separately.
I really think Firo is a bit overlooked because she also has 10% speed passive. She has like by far the highest speed with that, in addition with the new relic, and she seems like an excellent unit with the AoE and the self buff. Like really, really high, higher than Evil Eye, higher than most 5MP units.
Yeah, I feel like all three of them are really good 5MP units. Like personally, they do massive damage with their AoEs, and I feel like people overlook the fact that it's minus 15% defense down, which for farming is going to speed up the rest of your team in the co-op match or even on the solo game. But I feel like with her, like you got to look at her defense and HP as well. They're really low for an attacker. Like she's a glass cannon basically.
But they are all really, really good still.
Yeah, they're all really good, but like her defense and HP is what throws me off of her out of the bunch. But yeah, I'm gonna wait until glass.
And S level or high A level on JP, right?
Yeah, all the units are generally like strong, just based off stat distribution and like attack ratios. They're all around S and A levels, and I think we're getting to kind of a new level of stat standards in the game.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe just for this event, and we might just dip back to normal after this collab. Okay, and last but not least, we're gonna move on to Glass real quick. Okay, so this is the one unit I guess is different than the other three. She's not an AoE attacker. She is a technique attacker with a 5 MP single target skill, except that the ratios on this is a bit bonkers with 165% ice damage and 100% element rate. And the thing that pairs well with it is her base attack stat of 9,104 and her unique passive of as long as she's at 100% HP, she gets an additional 40% physical attack added on top of it. So I'll let you guys kind of like give some comments on this real quick.
Nothing more to say about that.
Yeah, like personally, I feel like she's the new best single target damage dealer once we get a bit of testing done. Because yeah, it costs 5 MP to do that, but it costs 4 MP for all the other top single target damage dealers that we have. So it's 1 MP more, but I feel like that 1 MP more compared to... I would rather have that extra 1,000 attack that she's got over every other top tier single target DPS for that 1 MP skill. Not to mention her passive, that's insane. Like, unless...
40%.
Yeah, like, she's going to be at full health when you're using her, because you're not using her for farming, you're using her for Chaos Field and even raids. So, like, she shouldn't really be taking damage. Maybe in raids if, like, you get attacked, but, like, in Chaos Field, your tank will be taking the damage.
Also in raids, you have the excellent self buff. Like, you don't get a better buff on a hero on raids.
Yeah.
I think what you can do for her though is if you really wanted 3 of her 5 MP skills, you could actually cycle it twice in the beginning and then charge for 1, attack for 1, and use it at the last one to get 3 attacks off. If you really valued her 5 MP single skill, then like she'd have no buff on her though.
Okay.
Right,
but yeah, she's far better than the other 4, but not as good as Naofumi.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of beat that. Okay, I was gonna say like about her passive, the only other unit I know of that gets such a big boost is Guts, where he gets a 30% physical attack boost when he's under 30%. So like hers is a lot higher, but like
and she's in a safer spot as well.
Also gets 50% when below 30.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 35% when below 50%.
Yeah. So there's the other ones too. But like let's move on.
This is stronger than being at lower than half because you are most of the time at full HP on your DPS.
Yeah. We're just gonna move away from Shield Hero real quick. We won't really have the time to talk about the relics. The only interesting things to note is that we're getting 1 more Intimacy relic for Shield Hero, which is nice because we didn't get some until Cautious, and then before that it was Dead Alive. So it's a good opportunity to go grind Intimacy by pulling that relic, and then the 5-star relic, we'll talk about that maybe next time or one of my future videos. Alright, and then the new Nazarick Fest unit we're gonna wrap up with is Gazef. And Gazef, long overdue by a lot of people. I know some people are really happy that he finally came out.
Maybe Gazef.
Maybe Gazef, yeah. So he's pretty like basic. He has 8,000 attack, 388 speed, so that's pretty decent for Nazarick Fest units. His HP is only 6,500, but he has a unique passive of 10% HP regen, which is non-stackable with the relic, but really helps him survive. Plus, his gimmick is that he has his famous 4-fold slash of light on his skill that deals 4 hits of 48% physical damage at a crit percent rate of 23.44. Besides that, he has a strong self buff and shining attacks, including a very powerful overdrive.
Yeah.
I think he's really good, personally. Like, it all comes down to that crit down there at the bottom, and his crit rate, to be honest with you. But I feel like the HP being so low is not really an issue with him. Again, you're mainly using him in Chaos Field and Raids, and Chaos Field, he shouldn't be getting hit because of tanks, and Raids, he shouldn't really be dying because, you know, they kind of spread the damage out in that. So he can kind of go all out on his DPS, especially with his crit, like, percent on that last skill. Not to mention, like, I know it's minor, but he is like a very strong shining unit, and I don't think we actually have really strong ones besides Shouter Valkyrie off the top of my head, like very strong ones.
Nazarick PA.
Nazarick.
So it's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more or less it for shining attackers off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Griffith and Nazarick PA. Nazarick PA.
Yeah. So really only Griffith and Gazef and stuff, but yeah, he's quite strong.
In addition, also Nazarick Festival this time. Ask if you want to take again.
Yeah, so the Nazarick Festival this time is we have the regular Nazarick Festival banner that has the new Gazef on it. We also have Genitive and a Anshizu, and then we also have I'm trying to remember the last name off the top of my head, and Clem, I think. Yeah. So really solid single attackers, all 3 of them, and then we've got our friend the Emperor, who is just kind of an outlier in being an okay buffer with some unique gimmicks. And then the second one is a Nazarick Festival King Ainz special banner. So this is him at his prime, the SS unit that everyone loves, the 4 MP farmer, magical attack buffer, and probably the best debuffer in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have some closing words on that?
Yeah.
State what I wanted to talk about at the beginning was that we have at the moment very good banners, very strong power level of units, and very strong level of powers released with the new units like power creep en masse. I feel it's a cool idea to do that and to give newer players a chance to get Sorcerer King and to get Naofumi to a really good start right now, or even a middle time player. But it really smells a bit of an exit strategy or a last cash out, because why else would you release highly power creep, units that are highly limited, power creep the rest, and on top of that release your other top cash grabs at the same time instead of spreading them out?
Yeah.
Really feels like a bad taste in my mouth about JP version. Like it's too good to be true. That they can't keep that up.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Too much of a good thing, so close together. I'll just throw it out there that it has been about 8 months since the initial release of Nazarick Ainz. So he's been out for a while. He's reappeared in like the summer Nazarick Festival banners too, and with the not recent changes, but with the changes to the Nazarick Festival banners, all of them are now in the pool instead of just the 4. So originally, when Nazarick Festival was coming out in the first couple, or like the first year, we'd only have 4 units that you'd be able to pull, and everyone else would be locked away. But now, like, that banner has all of them in it, even though they're not specifically rate up. So it's a good change if you want to pull stuff that's not there. So for like last couple of months, Nazarick Gazef has been available to us, but having him have his rate up banner really is nice for people to be actually able to 100% get him. Do I feel like we're entering a new age of power creep? Maybe. I think it could be an exception for this collab, or Massive Dead could be moving on to a new era of we get high baseline units, and then these small buffs we're getting the older units, or just trying to make sure that they don't seem completely obsolete to like kind of the new standards being set.
But how are they going to top Shield Hero next month and Nazarick Gazef run? They do have to either release more broken units to get the users paying again, or to get people interested again, or they have to drastically decrease the difficulty, or not increase the difficulty, to not let players not having who didn't got Nazarick Gazef or Naofumi in the future still have a chance at the game. So either you have a degrading in game quality or power creep.
I think one of the things you said, Di, just before we started, was, do you think they intended Nazarick Gazef to be the best unit in the game for this long? And to be honest with you, like going off that, what you said earlier, like I genuinely think they did. The only reason for that is because when you think about it, all the other units that we've had, none of them have really seemed like they've attempted to be the best unit in the game in terms of like what they do. Besides what we've got now, which is Naofumi, right? I feel like he's the only one that's looked like they've attempted him to be on the same power creep as Ainz. I feel like they tried slightly with Nazarick Gazef, like the month after, and then after that, they just kind of slowly died down. Like they brought out like the 2 top units like back to back, and then after that, they kind of died down and just bring them back here and there. But I feel like the next unit that will be the top of like the game is going to be the 2nd anniversary unit, whatever that is. But until then, I feel like we're just still going to get like S tier units and maybe another SS unit just before 2nd year anniversary.
I'm calling it SSS Archer for 2nd anniversary.
Yeah, but 2nd anniversary is where, if they don't improve the top unit from 2nd anniversary, I don't know what they're doing.
But how else are they going to sell any more copies in the future, or any more rolls effectively?
Yeah, it's interesting because if you look at like the Nazarick Festival units that come out recently, like Momon, Genitive, Victim, Hyohoku even, right? Like they're units that are like okay, like the stat spreads are amazing. They have kind of like unique gimmicks, but like they're not overly like statistically tail breaking or anything. Nothing we haven't seen. So I think the game is gonna kind of continue where we're going. We'll have like occasional like spikes of like power, like Shield Hero collab. But I feel like they're gonna try to regulate everything to about like where we're at now still.
I think next month we will get a good unit again, because Christmas / New Year for most people at least. And last Christmas, obviously, we got Albedo, which was very good. Yeah. Sebas and Nabe. Nabe's not bad. Sebas, meh. But, you know, after what they've done with Halloween units, they've brought out, like, a couple of really good ones. Well, Solution being a really good one. It seems like each season, there's one unit that is, like, above and beyond the rest, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we're going to wrap up. So I'm gonna ask our guests if they have anything they want to quickly shout out before we end the podcast.
Nope, nothing here.
I'm good.
Do your daily enter my prayers.
Yeah, and I blame that fish for the tier list.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for giving this podcast a listen, and if you made it to the end, then congrats on that. Hopefully we'll have another podcast in another 2 weeks, and that's a wrap.